All the best. Thank you for joining us on time, guys. For joining us on time, guys. Hello, Arun. So is everyone joined? Okay, so once again, thank you everyone for joining on time. Let me introduce myself. This is Megha from SUVC. I am from Gwalior and currently a business development executive of SUVC. So let's have a quick recap of what SUVC is. So can you turn on the voice? Ajit sir, can you turn on voice? Can we play it from start? So I hope everyone have watched this video. This is season 5 of SUVC. So today we have invited our special guest. Today we have S. Venkata Padmanabhan sir among us. He is hello sir.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. So he is the chairman of Manas Robotics Singapore, and he has devoted more than 27 years of his life to building a global enterprise that is Olam Group. It is listed in 500 Fortune 500 company, and he is passionate about inspiring change and creating impact. So, sir, we are eagerly waiting to hear from you about your entrepreneurship experience and how it helped you to become a leader. So, sir, now virtual stage is all yours.
Good, very good. So, hi, good evening. Mostly from India, right? All of this, all the team members. So, good afternoon to all of you. So this is Venkat here. I hope you're audible for you. Okay, so we are going to talk about today a little bit of journey of leadership, right? So the word which I mentioned to you that you be a mentor and mentee. That means you train somebody, you are a leader for whatever sphere of influence you have, and you also in the whole process continue to learn. So in a day you learn and share, or share and learn. You know, whichever form and manner it happens, lifelong learning of getting influencing people, impacting people's life, and continue to nurture yourself. The world's best asset, if I ask you, what is it? It is not the millions of dollars which is there in your bank account, but certainly it is you. You as an individual, how you start your life and how you end your life during that period of whatever life we are living, 70, 80, 90 years, how we create an impact, how many people's life we are able to touch it. That's what the legacy you're going to leave behind. That's the footprint which people will be remembering for you, not for the money you had, right? So, but how do we start the journey and what are the ingredients? And there are stories and theories about, leaders are born, leaders cannot be made. So, what is this all about the leadership, right? So, let me start with from my own experiential experience based learning. Let me share with you what those areas are, and then we can take some questions from you, and then we will take it from there. Okay, right? Good. So, the first and foremost question is: leaders are born or leaders are made? Both are true. There are, of course, some of them are very blessed to be born as a leader. It is there from the day one of their birth. I mean, we could see that as they grow up. But I truly believe leaders are made. Even people are born as a leader. If they're in the genes, they have the leadership qualities. If I talk about psychological metrics, but how do they nurture it and how do they navigate is what very, very important in life for them to create an impact on the life of many people, right? So that means you and me, all of us are leaders. If we decided that I want to become a leader, leadership is not a sitting in an ivory tower and managing millions of people. It's not. It starts with managing yourself, right? If you just say as simple as that morning, I'll get up at 6, are you getting up? You said that I will do exercise, are you doing it? I said I will do the studies and get a rank, are you doing it? It's as simple as that, because if we cannot manage our day-to-day activities, if I'm not even in control of my emotions and my mind, and what I promise to myself if I can't keep up, how the hell I can be a global leader? So I'm just touching upon with you that everyday leadership is very, very important, because we can make it fancy and we can quote various examples and quotations and notations about how the leaders who have been, who are already successful. But you and me, as an ordinary person, when we start our day, it is very important that how we manage our day to day and how we manage ourselves, right? So that's the starting point, right? I just thought it would be really good for you to reflect on yourself and then see how the day has gone by. Now, I always give this analogy of an empty cardboard, plywood box or a plastic bottle. Of course, we should not spoil the environment. Assuming that it is there in the sea, the waves will take the plastic bottle to the deep little bit inside and then come back to shore and then again goes back. The plastic bottle thinks that I'm too busy 24/7. I'm running and going up and down. But it neither goes to the depth of the water or to the shore, just endlessly, aimlessly, just moving up and down. Many times we are like that. It's truly it's like that. Morning we get up and morning to evening we have a back-to-back something, some TV show, some program, some office, for somebody we do something. Are we taking time for ourselves? Are we reflecting how the day has gone by? End of the day, can we just look at our eye, and see, hey, like a picture, how was the day? What I created impact, what I learned today. The world is today completely becoming comparison. I compare with my neighbor, compare with my colleague, and say that he got $1,000 more, and I didn't get the promotion, I didn't get the title. Come on, what we're comparing? If at all you and me want to compare, let's compare to the Bill Gates or even a Facebook founder who is the 29 worth 40, $50 billion worth. Let's compare with him and say that, feel miserable. I'm okay with that comparison if at all you want to compare. What is the point of comparing, just a frog in the well and just look at left and right? You need to compare yourself. Just see that, yesterday of you and today you are a millimeter better, then the world is fine for me. Because I have my own journey. Each one of us are different. You walk in the nature and go through the nature, you'll see the trees are not comparing. Trees are not looking for somebody to come and thank them because half the lungs are hanging there. They breathe out and we breathe in. They're not waiting for that, you need to thank. Or not for the matter, even the sun. Every day morning it comes and gives light to the world, entire world, the lights to the entire world. But why you and me always expect the comparison? So the first and foremost thing is how you compare yourself and you create your own milestone for you to grow. And if at all in leadership, if you want to grow and want to become a lifelong leader, you need to be self-aware about yourself, what you commit yourself, how do you get improve on that. I'm not saying that whatever you commit will deliver. Just now, January 1st has gone by. I'm sure all of us have written our resolutions, but many of the resolutions the next year still remain as unfulfilled. Why? Simple reason is we don't take time to reflect. If you divide that, what are the goals into a day by day and then minute by minute, and then say that today what I'm supposed to do, and do a course correction tomorrow, we would have achieved many more things. So it's not. So the point what I'm trying to say is leadership is not something in ivory tower of making it so big and jargons and etc. It's as simple as that how I and you and me behave in a day-to-day basis. That's a very, very important. And if you do that, I mean, many of us are trying lifelong. It's not easy to become a self-mastery. But if you get the self-mastery, you are conquering the world. If you know that I am in control of my emotions, mind, and body, I'll be able to control the entire world in whatever form and manner I want, or inspire the world in that form and manner. Control is the wrong word, right? That's very, very important. Now, for you to get startup, you know the word called systems and processes. Why do people say systems and processes? Why a computer program or a program when you write or a computer is cannot commit mistake, it repeatedly doing the work. If I do that, you know why? Because it's a system. Thought about it, trial and error. When you're writing the coding, you'll get things can go wrong. But once it is perfected, tested a couple of times, and it is fine and put to practice, it can repeat that activity regularly. The same way, you have to bring some discipline for yourself. Now, when I talk about this theory, let me link some of the examples of my own life. So one of the system, for example, all of us will go through, which is called morning. I want to get up fresh in the morning. I am a guy who go to sleep at 2:30 or 2 in the night and get up at 7 in the morning. That's what my habit used to be. I believe the night is very calm and quiet and I can concentrate. I learned and I understood from my wife and everybody that morning is better, but it's a theory. So I just defined and designed a simple system, which is called, that was one issue. And then another issue was exercise. Sporadically I do that, gym and yoga and swimming and cycling and do all that. Travel 20 days, come back, 2 months gone by, the routine is gone. To bring back discipline during these COVID times, I just made a simple system, even at this part of my life, that date with the nature and, no agenda, walk and talk. That's a terminology I given. I said every day morning I'll meet somebody, some of my friends in my network and go for a walk. In the last 2 years, what happened? I would have met 450 people in the morning, 6 to 6:30. Every day morning, I'm getting up, irrespective of when I go to sleep, because I committed to somebody and he's waiting. Hence, I need to be there. I lost 4 5 kilos and I feel energetic the whole day, right? And it became a habit now. So this is called a system. I'm just giving an example of how you have to put a system so that you become, a little bit auto-driven to start with, till it become a habit. So very, very important that how you can create a discipline of it, systematically, so that you are able to change some of your behaviors. Very important. Now, let me give an example of my life. I've studied in a government school in India. I was part of Kerala. I was in Trivandrum, small, compared to Mumbai and Delhi, metropolitan city. Trivandrum is, at that time, of course, communist, even today, communist ruling, but it's a little bit, in that sense, socialist state. So not big MNCs were there at that point of time. But when I'm studying in a government school and then wanted to become, BCom and then CA, whatever it is, the wake-up call was, the BCom first year when I was listening to the organization and management. That's a subject where one Professor Radhakrishnan came and spoke. The very first day he was presenting, said that W. Taylor, time and motion studies, some of you have studied about, span of control and factories. Somehow I felt that I am a manager. And I started from that day onwards, I started wearing full sleeves and my cycle, I used to think that I'm driving, I'm in the backseat of a S450 Mercedes or a Maserati. And just go back like that and sit on the top of the hill and imagine and perceive, dream Then I'm a manager managing, multi-factories and multi-people. And the reason I'm telling you this example is you have to fall in love with the subject, not for earning money, because if you're a CA, you will make money. If you're an engineer, you'll make money. No. That day, the seed of love has gone into me, and I started loving that passion for commerce, management, and that's become my passion. And then after that, it was like a dating. I'm not studying for the purpose of passing or getting some mark, but I love it. I remember still company law, I got 72 marks or whatever it is, some of the boarding subjects. The reason I'm saying that is it is no more I'm studying, it is love. And if you love for the subject, you become a rank holder, you become CA, ICAA, whatever. Subsequently, you can do whatever courses you have done and pass out, just like a breeze, because it's not the degree you are worried about, it is the subject. And the moment you fall in love with that passion, with that subject or the topic, and that becomes your life. And that's why I chose to be in finance for quite some time. And because that's a backbone. And then from there, I moved into leadership roles across the world. So what I'm trying to say is, even for a government school, vernacular language studied person who doesn't know how to speak one word English till I'm a graduate in a very fluent basis. The reason I'm able to do that because I've fallen in love with the subject. So the second piece of advice for you after the self-mastery is you have to fall in love with whatever you do. I know here there are girls and guys are there, youngsters are there. We all go through in our life, in a love of our life, when you want to get married, when you sit with your, the time goes away. The same way you should fall in love with the subject or the role or the work or an entrepreneurship which you want to do. Don't do it because I want to earn money. You will not go anywhere. You could be morning to evening, you can take a bike and go back and earn some money and retire and then, disappear. That's not the life you want to live. There's a huge difference between the stones and bricks in the world and a life living human being. And we have to make a difference. And if you have to make a difference, you have to fully get ingrained into the topic, which is what I call passion for your whatever you want to do. At that time, it's a subject. And later it becomes your vocation, a profession, or touching people's life, whatever it is. You need to identify your passion. Passion is nothing but, is exactly the dating experience. When you split, the time goes, you don't know. And that is the case, then that work you do. Don't do work for the purpose of just fulfilling the 8-10 hours. Again, take risk and choose and go after experiences rather than, only for money. My own experience, after passing CA, I got a very good job in insurance company I could have joined. But I chose to join a sick company. Sick company means, BAFR. It's a restructuring. The company's promoter died suddenly, so they were in a huge debt. I went and joined for 2,000 rupees salary per month. But that was that 9-10 months in that company is the fantastic experience which has shaped my life overall. Instead of 2,000 rupees, I would have got a 3,600 rupees in a government insurance company. If it had joined, it would have been a different pathway altogether. I'll be successful, but much less successful. But I chose to go for an experience. So we had a labor union problem and meeting and negotiating payment structures. And I was fortunate enough to report to Mr. Keshav Pillai, who was ex-Kerala State Electricity Board chairman, because being a sick company, he was he was mandated to turn around the company and, whatever and so on and so forth. And I used to travel 4 hours to reach. So I go on Monday and then come back at 4 in the morning. I go and come back on Friday evening. The point what I'm trying to say is you take risk and join. And that's what has happened in that first experience, because I fall in love with the subject and then fall in love with the job which I was doing. And then 2,000 become 2,600 rupees. And then I moved into the upper group for 2 years. Then again, I got 3 promotions. And then at the age of 25, I joined a group, at that time called Sunrise. Now it's called Olam. And I've been with them for 28 years. 28 years, why I'm there? Enough and more headhunting calls coming in for me to join. But the reason I'm not joined, because it is not for money you're working, but for the experience, the joy of creating and touching people's lives. We have touched more than 5 million farmers' lives, and there was a purpose for which we are existed and existing even today in a different form and manner. So that's what life. So again, coming back to the point, the example which I'm giving to you is passionate and loveful about what you do. Don't do anything for somebody else, including your parents. They force you to do, don't do it. If it is not connecting, some of you speak Hindi, they'll say, if it is not coming from the heart, don't touch it. The moment anything you do with the heart, you will feel tremendous impact. You will create impact. You feel happy. You feel joyful. Come on, boys. The life and death is one breath away, and especially the COVID is teaching us. You take breath, next breathing may not be happening. And there are many of our friends and relatives no more there today. And that's life. Then what is the point of you big, I big, and fighting, and don't waste your time. Right? Very, very important passion for love. Now, when you're young, till about 35, I will say, you have to be crystal clear in your mind. Are you going after depth or width? As you move up the ladder, you can go for width. When I'm talking about width means do many things, multiple things. You need not be, you can be jack of all trades, master of none, people say. But at the senior level, when you move in, it's a judgment matters rather than specialization matters. But first primitive years of 10, 15 years of your life, you have to be depth. Specialization matters. You are a simple tea lady. You should make the world's best tea and feel proud about that. I made the tea and serving you. And that's what my tea lady taught me in my Valam experience. Doris, sorry. Madam Doris at the 72, she comes and serves the tea. I was president and she is tea lady. But if I don't drink the tea, she comes and scolds me and says that, sir, either you tell me the tea is not good enough, then I'll make it, I'll improve upon, or you drink. Don't waste it because it's an insult on my work. What a learning you are able to do. That's what I talked about mentor and mentee. It's not that, we respect your title and position. You will learn from anybody. I learned from that lady that the true value of the profession or what job she does, the pride she has got. She used to get a $5 t-shirt from in a hawker center, that means in the roadside shop. And she will come and say that you're not noticing me. I'm wearing a new shirt today. See the pride. She is not worried about your title and positions, etc. Because for her and for all of us, we all are human beings. But she is very, very particular about what she was trying to do. And I remember those days where, even somebody is coming to meet me for meetings, she'll be the first one to find out from my secretary about my calendar and, ensuring that they have been served coffee and tea. So that means, in other words, what I'm saying is any job which we consider to be menial, also you can excel if you have the spirit and passion and heart say, dil say you make it. Right? If you're a cook, make food with your dil, you will see that the food you will become a fantastic restaurant owner or whatever common manner. So that's what I talked about depth. That means go deep into whatever you do and master of those things in the first 15 years of your career, minimum. Don't go after depth a bit just in the beginning saying that, that also is good, I'm a general manager, this and that. Not going to help you because you need to have a foundation for you to start. Now, when you talk about curriculum and qualification, see, you can be a CA, MBA, IIT, whatever you talk about. I can bet you, and I'm telling you from my experience, the world is changing. IBM Watson is already replaced many of the professions, right? You know that lawyers, I heard that about 100 days of 100 lawyers' work can be replaced by 1 day by IBM Watson robot. The bots can replace. If that is what is the world is changing and technology is really overtaking, that the theory may not be helping you. But it is important for you to go through the curriculum because you're developing something called your left brain. The brain has got two components, left brain and right brain. Left brain is the logical reasoning and etc. Right brain is creativity. That's why the artists and film producers, etc. are the right brain combination. For you to be successful, you need both. You need to be logical, you need to be analytical, you should have the mind to critically seek and identify the dots. At the same time, you need to have a broader point of view of empathy, emotional intelligence, creativity, out of the box thinking, all that will come from the right brain. So your curriculum and studies which you do, most of them are teaching on left brain. Some of them, of course, a little bit of MBA and all, they touch even right brain, part of it. But that's only valid till it's a ticket for you to board the train or a flight. Once you're in career or entrepreneurship or a business, that's it. Forget about that entry point because that's got no more meaning. It is lifelong learning and how you're going to build after that. When I talk about lifelong learning, it is not the academic degrees which you're going to add on. It's not going to help. Yes, I also did, but I did it really because of passion for love, not because of degree. After doing my CA, I went and did MCom, which is foolish. But I've done it because I want to write a book at that time. At that time, CA was not recognized as equivalent to PhD masters. Hence, I went and did my masters at that time. But what I'm saying is, unless you fall in love with it, it's not adding those degrees. But life skills, your art of communication. So today you know that I'm communicating and connecting with you. It is partly ingrained in me and partly I've trained myself. There is something called Toastmaster International, the worldwide. You can go and practice your speaking. There is something called the lift speech. They say the 2 minute speech, elevator speech, it's called. That you happen to meet Mukesh Ambani in the lift and you have only 2 minutes to say hi, hello to him and impress upon him. How do you communicate? It's an art, it's a skill. It needs to be learned. We think that communication means the words which I'm speaking. No, my hand, gesture, the body movement, the emotions, that is what much more valuable than the words which I speak. Words is much smaller percentage, below 30%. Now, that skill, if you don't learn it, you think that I know, I'm born to speak. No, you're not. And even now I'm learning, right? Every recording of my speech, I listen to see that what I should correct. Because that's life, right? So you need to continue to be involved in the lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is not the classroom learning. Like I given an example about you will observe from a tea lady. You learn, Munnabai MBBS, you know that, right? The guy who is cleaning. He does a great job for the hospital, keeping the germs away. So everybody does it. You can learn from every box of life, the rocks and the trees, and everybody is ready to teach you something so long as you are observant and pay attention to those details. You are too busy just looking at, WhatsApping, messaging one Twitter to Facebook, Facebook to LinkedIn. Then, of course, the world will go away and then you and me will be forgotten. The world is so busy to remember you and me, right? So it's very, very important, life important. Now, when you talk about peer leadership qualities, we think that, I'm here and I'm learning, I know there are people below. No. Self-leadership I talked about. Then peer leadership is equally important. That means without authority, how do you get things done from your peers? People are equal to you. The more and more the new world is evolving, and my kids, my daughter, and everybody I'm now seeing, it is not that you can dictate and get things done. You have to be with them as an equal and then get it done, irrespective of whatever age and experience and wisdom you have. That is called peer leadership. That means how do we move along with them and get that done? How do you create a rapport with them, right? So for that skill set, for you to have, you need to have a continuously observing skills and also understanding the other person's point of view. That's where the listening skills are important, not the hearing skills. We all hear, we keep just observing, but how much is going in, how much we understand, and it is our own story playing in. It's not the other person's story. We are not trying to understand where he or she is coming from. That's not going to help you. You have to definitely understand that person's point of view, and that's where your learning will grow, your relationship will grow, and the world is full of relationship. Those days are gone where competition is all important. This is a world of collaboration. You and me can coexist. There are 7 billion people and becoming 9 billion people. There is enough and more opportunities in the world. How you differentiate and how are you going to be in every walks of life? You as an individual, you as your product or your entrepreneurship, your company. It's a life is full of differentiation and customer delight. And for you to create a customer delight, you need to create an insight and influence and involve with the customers and create the bonding. And for that to happen, you need to be having the peer leadership skills, which is very, very important for you, and otherwise it cannot happen. And that can happen only by not classroom training, but keen observation. You take your time to reflect. That's what I said. End of the day, from today, if we can, just take 10, 15 minutes of your 24 hours. Just take a pen and paper, and initially you need a pen and paper to reflect how was the day and what did I learn today. Very surprised. How many people I hurt? You can mentally say sorry. You don't need to go and physically go and say sorry. But that energy will change, right? You reflect on yourself. You say sorry to yourself. Because many times we are self-critic. We just stab us so much. Oh, I'm not good at it. I didn't do that. I didn't do the interview well. I didn't speak to my girlfriend well. All that thing, let's be forget. Forgive us. If at all you want to love, the world need to love you. You know whom to love? I'll tell you a secret. Don't tell anybody. Morning, as soon as you get up, as soon as you get up, even if you're not combed your, hair or whatever it is, okay, brush it so that it'll be clean. Just go and stand before the mirror, and then look at you. Wow, you are wonderful. You're so good. What a handsome person or a beautiful lady, and you hug yourself. I'm not joking. Initially, it may become like a routine, look like a foolishness. The more you love, the world will start loving you. You yourself don't love you. You don't yourself respect you. The world will not respect. What you give in is what comes out. Wherever you are sitting today, you are listening to me. Now, can you just tell me, just surrounding by you, can you see some thousand musics? I can feel that in your each of your place, houses where you're sitting. I can see thousand musics or those kind of things are available. It's available with you. You will say, no, come on, I'm only listening to you. Everything is muted. Or some of you, if you assume that I'm muted, how can you listen to my music? No. You want to test it out? What I'm saying is true or not? You take your iPhone or a Bijo phone and put a jack, then the tuner is active. You can tune into any FM channels, you can tune into any YouTube channels. That means the music is there. What was missing is the tuner. The same way, the universe is here to give you anything and everything you ask for, so long as you don't tune yourself. Your antenna is yourself, your positivity, your thought process is what you send it to the world. You recall the example which I gave you in a village, I'm in Trivandrum, I studied this first one, and then I thought I'm a general manager. I used to go and sit on the top of the hill and scream that I'm a general manager. I started behaving like a general manager. And indeed, I became a general manager and I became a president of a global company and managed many, many people. Whole lot of people I'm able to cover. And that's beyond office. I'm continue to share and learn in many forums. Why? Because that is what the power of universe. I didn't doubt myself. Can I not? I just believed at that moment as if I'm a leader at that moment. And that is the power of visualization, the power of subconscious mind, which I talk to you about later will come to you. Very important. In anything in life, you have to have that attitude called can-do attitude. Many times we will say, I can't. My father earned $1,000 or 1,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees. If I earn 10 lakhs, oh, I achieved big satisfaction. Can you become Bill Gates? Oh, that's not for me, my kids or grandchildren. Why that limiting belief? Why there is a glass ceiling? If money is what you want to chase, you will get whatever you want to get. I'm not saying money alone you need to chase. Money is not the measurement of success, but money is important for you, right? You have to feed your family and everybody. The point what I'm trying to say is you have to have the can-do attitude. What I set for myself, I will achieve. That's what I'm saying. For achieving something big, you have to start simple things. You would have seen this video about waking up your bed in the morning. If you're not disciplined on what you want to do on a daily basis, how we can create global empires? You can't. But for that to start with, you need to have a belief that can-do attitude and then prove that today morning I said I'll get up at 6, I got up without alarm. Initially maybe with alarm clock, but later, the body clock will wake you up. I decided that I will do 10,000 steps today. I've done it. I'm just giving an example. Whatever you set right. So start with the small goals, doable goals, but get a pat. Hey, well done, Venkat, I've done it. And then you will see the change in your life, how the life is going to change and improve upon. In the whole cycle, I told you that every minute, 10, 15 minutes, you take a time. Even when you drive a car from Agra to Delhi or Mumbai to Pune or whatever places you do, you just stop and ask, am I in the right direction? There are some points, right? Pointers. Have I reached this place? Or if I reach this place, next places, you just check it out whether or you look at the road signs for your life, the path of your life journey. You take time to reflect whether you're going in the right direction. How much time you're taking? Have you ever reflected? Am I in the right path? Do you know what is the destination you want to go? It can be moving goalposts, but at least you have a goalpost to start with. Have you time to reflect to say that what I'm doing well, what I'm not doing well? You all have a balance sheet. I know if I asked you that how much money you made on the shares, and of course markets are going down now, but you'll tell me how much I lost or made money, or the bank balance I have, or the house I have, or the car I have. Do you know what is your assets? What is Mr. Venkat means? What is Mr. So and so means? Nilesh means. Mr. Nilesh, what is his balance sheet? Does he know what all his strengths and hidden strengths? When I say strengths, if I just wake up at 2 in the morning, you should be rattle 10 example like this. Just like that. That is called strength. Do you know that the hidden strengths which are not played? Do you know that the areas where I need to improve upon, some areas where I keep missing and falling? Right? So it is very, very important in your life that you need to be very, very clearly having a self-reflection. Clear? Now, communication. To whom you speak a lot? You know, you'll say that to my girlfriend, to my mother, to my father. If you're married, you'll say to my wife, you're lying. Hmm. Truth. You're not telling truth. Anybody can tell me? You are actually speaking to yourself. The most number of in the total communication, your self-talk is where the maximum. So if at all you need to get the communication right, you need to be clear on what you communicate to yourself. That's what in the beginning I talked about, love yourself and, feel grateful about yourself and be merciful for yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself, etc. Right? So it is very, very important in terms of technique of communication is first is self-communication. If you get the self-communication right, you'll be able to communicate with others better. And that is where I talked about the listening skills, which is very, very important. I also touched upon the promise and delivery. When I say promise and commit and delivery, it's a very simple thing. If you say 8 o'clock, I'll meet somebody, be there at 7:55. Similarly, you get up in the morning, like I said, whatever small commitments you give it for yourself or others, you try to, as much possible, adhere to that. That itself is the first success for you to become a great leader. Now, failure. Many of you will say that I failed. Failure is very good. But only thing is fail fast. Don't drag on it in your feet for 10 years. The company is not good. I'm not liking the job, but still there. I will make it good. After some time, it is not okay. Get out of that place and find your place. Like I found 28 years. I was in an university, a startup to a Fortune 500 in 28 years. I was the second employee in India. In December, when I took a voluntary retirement, it's very important for you to decide that which place where you're not working, but you're enjoying, you're contributing, you're thriving. Thriving is not in terms of your promotion or incentive or a bonus. You feel that you're learning and you're contributing and you're creating impact. You're the judge for yourself. All of the feedback is important, but the self-feedback is very, very important, right? Very, very important for you to see how you can fail fast and learn from that. And for that, you have to take risk. If you don't take risk, you cannot. I was working for Tata Group with 300 workers, big factory. When I joined a company which is second employee, not even an office space, which is design, it's a risk. Unknown company. First time coming to Trivandrum at that time, MNC they call. But I took the risk. And there are people, my colleagues have taken very, very, difficult task of going to Africa and other places. At that time, people are dared to go. And they're all doing extremely well today. Because that's called exposure. It's very, very important. Okay. Now, you can say that, sir, all that is fine, but I'm also human. I will go down. I will also go down. To be very frank, many times I go down. When I go down means I feel miserable. I feel, Then what should I do? There is a 90-second rule. Don't sit on that emotion for more than 90 seconds. You feel really frustrated, just get out of the seat. I mean, if you look at the body, if you're happy, you will say, wow. You just do like this, you feel that you have energy. You feel sad, right? So change the posture. Get out. You like to listen to music, you like to run, jump. Don't sit and moan on the situation. Get out of the place. The seat which you're talking about, get out of the seat. Right? Get out of the situation. And you come back and see, you will laugh at yourself. Hey, why for this issue I was, I moaned it. That's why I've given this rule of 90 seconds, which is Tony's guidance, which I liked it. Because very important for you to come out of the situation as early as possible. Okay. Now, I'll take some questions, but let me just round up a couple of more points. In whatever you do, you can say I'm introvert, I'm shy. Where all these things are coming. It's a deeper topic on psychology. I'm a certified NLP coach, etc. But I'll briefly touch upon. The human brain develops to 95%, 90 to 95% by the age of 7. Now, during the first initial primitive age, 7 years, of course, there is a DNA influence and all from parents, but let's talk about our life. The first 7 years, oh, beta, he's very shy, he don't speak. Oh, beta, you have to work very hard, only then you can do. So people are working 24/7. Why can't you do smart work? Why should you slog? And only then you can succeed. These are the limiting beliefs. This is called limiting beliefs, which has gone into your mind during that primitive age of your brain development. And you believed in it, and then one or two times you failed, then you thought that's reality, and that's how the life goes. And you look at your life, you will see in a couple of areas always you succeed, in a couple of areas always you fall. But if you don't reflect, you don't know what those areas are and how to come out of those issues. Though I have many degrees, but the best thing I've learned, that's why I tell my kids and I'm teaching them now, is psychology is very important. Because that is where the self-mastery will come. When I learned NLP and psychology related many courses, UN method and so on and so forth, success factor, etc., success mastery, etc. But the point what I'm trying to say is for you to control yourself, the lifelong learning is important so that you are able to get the exposure. If you get the exposure, that is what is called the most important prestigious card. Don't think about platinum credit card or diamond credit card. No, that card is called network card. When I say network, how many people you meet, how you create deeper relationship with people, you learn from people, many places where you contribute, share. Whenever I go for, nowadays it's all virtual, but when I'm in the physical meeting, I tell my guys, who's listening, it's good that you stand up and ask stupid questions, stupidest question. There is no question called stupidest, but if you believe that it's stupid question, you ask. If nothing else, the speaker or the person at least spotted you. There is somebody like that. You think you're intelligent and among the thousands, you sit there and quietly, nobody even notice you that you exist. So the first thing is, that's what I said. Don't afraid to fail, take risk, ask questions, participate, network, and create a lasting relationship with people. And that will be very, very valuable to you in this modern world. The collaborative world, the network is an important card you need to have. Now in life, at least in my, you need to be clear that it is not what you are. Right? That's why in my profile, I don't write about my designation and titles, etc. because I believe in 8A principle. If some of you know my LinkedIn profile, I've shared, Venkit@gmail. You can see I shared my 8A principles, not my title, because I cannot be dictated by my title. I should have Venkit is a title. I created my own brand. That's important. And that is where you create a legacy. When I say legacy, it is not an ego. You also live in this world and it should be meaningful way of touching people's life. So it's not like a potato buying and selling that I've done this. Like for example, today speaking, what do I get out of it? That is not the game of the world. You give in fully, the universe will give you from behind and side and back without even knowing. The more of shared, like the happiness of sharing and learning is so much joyful. You try. Because if you have money, if you give in, sometimes you say that it will go away. But even there, I believe the more money you give, you will get more. But in the case of knowledge and experience, you keep sharing, you learn. That's why, people say that you want to become master, you teach first, right? So in that formal manner, you is creating a legacy, and that is where it is important. If you're not listening, the TED Talk, there is a Simon Sinek's TED Talk called the Golden Circle, which he talks about why, how, and what. Many times we talk about what we are, I'm president so and so, I'm a chairman so and so. That's all what? Moving goalposts. Why do you exist? I exist to touch as many people's life meaningfully as possible in my lifetime. And I want to create a lasting legacy. That's my why. In anything and everything I do, that's what I do. Right? So you need to be clear on the why. And then the how and what will come as a moving goalpost. It's very important for you to understand to create the legacy. Right? And like I said, you have to be 100% fully involved in anything and everything you do. And that is how it becomes very valuable to you. I'll just stop here just to say that now, so far I talked about the personal leadership part of it. Now, when I come into the next second part, quickly I will touch upon after taking questions on the entrepreneurship. Because unfortunately, I joined a company which was an entrepreneurship company. I got a great mentor, my group CEO, leader, Sandy John Varghese, who was an employee who built this mammoth organization from nowhere. And so many things I'm fortunate to learn at distance and closer with him. And that shaped me who am I today. I'm very fortunate. People talk about Jack Welch, and I had a fortune of working with such a great leader in my lifetime. But the point what I'm trying to say is, from the learnings which you impact, and the more you share, the more you learn, and you continue to improve upon. And that company where I work for, it's like I said, which is a startup to Fortune 500, so it was all filled with entrepreneurship. Now that's why after taking voluntary retirement, now I'm trying my hand of mentoring startups, entrepreneurship, in a bigger way. That's what I'm doing now as my passion and giving back to society in the form and manner, right? After 32 years of career life, right? So I'll take questions and I'll come to the little bit on the entrepreneurship. If at all some of you are in the business field, what are the few things I'm learning in the last couple of years, of my Volam experience of 28 years of experience. I am now helping in the entrepreneurs and startups. My couple of takeaways I'll share with you. I'll stop here and take some questions, and then depending on time, I will cover up the balance and then close it out. Yes, dear, questions will be somebody will put up or will come in. You can unmute. How do you want to handle the questions? Hello, moderator. Anybody's here? Sir, as a college team, what methods are ways we can take to approach the S&P 500 companies for financial aid team visiting? Yeah. Sir, I'm a new entrepreneur now. My journey is going to be with a lot of demotivated conditions. I'm facing negativity with our customers as well as our locality. What can I do, sir? Yeah. So I said, see, you can't control the world. Hey, can you mute? Because otherwise echo is coming. Dear friend, you mute yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, you can't control what is the outside world is doing. It is important that how you motivate yourself. It's easy, but that's very, very important. Because the entrepreneur's journey, since a lot of people are asking questions on entrepreneurship, let me touch upon. In entrepreneurship, there is a difference between manager and entrepreneurship. Manager, you have been asked to do something, and you get things done from your team. In entrepreneurship, you are the manager, you are the leader, you are the worker, everything you're going to do. You come out with something which you're passionate and you want to work on it and create an impact. So the first and foremost thing, what you need to be clear is, are you having that entrepreneurship mindset? When I say entrepreneurship mindset means you cannot think about your food and entrepreneurship at the same time. When I say food, you don't have money for feeding your wife or kids today, and you want to do entrepreneurship, you will always caught in the struggle of what I'm doing. So you need to get a little bit of that financial freedom. When I talk about financial freedom, means either you're not you can earn something so that will take care of part-time work or whatever it is, will take care of your food needs. Then you are able to apply mind on entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is like planting a tree. That plant the seed has to become a sapling has to become tree, and then the tree will bear fruits and give you returns. And till then, you need to have somebody to support, and they will support only when they see you that you're confident and you're giving 100% to the job. And that only will you do when you're mentally free and you're breathing and living the dream of that passion day in, day out. And for that, you to do, if it is you're struggling with proving, for example, I'm an entrepreneur, I want to get married, hence I'm becoming an entrepreneur. No, I want to prove to my father that I can make business. No, you have to prove for yourself. So you have to be very, very clear in terms of why you do what you do, which is what I'm talking about in the journey into lots of demotivation because of COVID. Things will go bad, but there's nothing wrong in take a pause, go for a part-time job, and then continue with doing entrepreneurship. Nothing wrong. Don't get too caught up on that idea, and if it is not working, and just keep banging on it. Take a break and then come back. You can succeed. KFC founder started his company at 56, right? So I will not go by the negativity. You have to convert. You have to find out why the negativity is coming. If you offer the customer delight, if you offer the best product, there is no negativity. If something is going wrong, most often what will happen is we think we are perfect, others are bad. Things when they're doing well, you're not blaming an Apple today. Apple is doing very well. I mean, of course, Apple is a big company today, but they started as a startup. When they give a customer delight, that those products have done well. Even whether it is India, Swiggy or Zomato, or you look at any such startups, when they give a value, the world is recognizing the value and returning. So you have to go back to your drawing board and see that whether it is beautifully valuable to you or not. Now, as a college team, what methods whether to take approach S&P 500 committee for financial aid? You're not running a charity, my dear friend. If you're running a charity, don't waste your time. If you create value, there will be enough money will come and touch you. Now, for example, I don't know who written this. For example, the social media. Today, you can be in a village, remote location, and YouTube. There are people making millions of dollars. So, if you believe that your idea is good and you want financial aid or financial support or an investors to come in, take the social media into your hand. Be active. And I remember in my own, just as a social thing, I'm doing my Infinity Forum. 3 years back, I started. I'm getting pouring, solicitation from all over the world, opportunities and what I can do if I decide to monetize. I'm not today, but I'm just saying. So it's not because of my title and position. It is the value. If you add value, there will be 200 members are there and people attending every meeting. Why? Because there is a value. Otherwise, nobody will come. Today, why are you coming here? If I don't add value to you, I'm sure by now many of you would have signed and gone out, right? So it's important for you to take that method. What is the more important short-term goal or long-term goal? Both are important. But like I said, you can always keep a long-term goal and hang it in the, like a God picture and then forget it. For you to prove yourself, because the world is changing. 2 years back, nobody thought that COVID will come, the world will change, right? For example, travel industry, many of the industry disappear. So today, this is the world, there is nothing called long-term. You need to have a broad direction, but you need to have your next 10 feet and 100 feet direction. So short-term goals are very important for you to, when I'm talking about as a young entrepreneur. When you're large enterprises and organizations like Valam, equally important to manage the shareholders' expectation on short-term and long-term, right? Or for the matter, any of the companies of that repute. But what I'm trying to say is, for you as young entrepreneurs, when you're starting, like I said, you start with your day's goal. Are you committing to day's goal? Today, I will contact 20 clients. Have you contacted? You got 10 responses. Have you got it? How do I, if I don't get it, go deeper into that? If you don't divide into the smaller particles and then go deeper, you may not be able to find what is the next, part of the area to do that. As you grow up, you need to have a long-term vision also, but you should be extremely flexible to navigate. That's why I talk about the agility matters a lot than, sophistication matters. You need to be very, very clear that I'm okay to fail fast. I'm okay to learn and not marry to my idea and then forget about everything else. You can't do that. Yeah. Any other questions? Just go down. Any other chats? Any questions are there? Did I answer all the questions? Anything? Yeah, I am new entrepreneur now. My journey. Okay, that I answered. How can I concentrate into our passion? Is this disturbing life? Okay. Okay. Who is that guy? Rajini Rajput. Rajini Rajput. I'm assuming it's a male. Do you have a lover? I'm sure you love a lover or girlfriend. When you're sitting with her, do you feel it is disturbed? If you have a lover, just even if you don't have, just assume. You sit with her and she's ready to, go for a movie or even buy what is called cholapuri or whatever you buy in the food stall and stand, sit with her in the beach and talk. You don't feel worried about. So passion is like that. Passion is not something which I'm buying from the shop. I want to be passionate. No, what your heart want to do, love to do. You watch movie, that's your maybe a passion. Then you become a movie actor or a movie director. Morning to evening, what do you like? You want to sleep? That's your passion. Then I can't help you, right? But you are what you want to do and which you feel it is not a work anymore. It's not a chore, but you enjoy. The time flies. That's why the girlfriend example I gave you. That's your passion. From your question, I can understand it is not, you don't need to concentrate passion. Passion will engulf you. Like today, for example, the speech, there's nothing, no presentation, no light up. It comes from here. And tomorrow's speech, the same topic you give, it will be completely different topic, different way I speak. Because it comes from you because you want to connect with people. So go back and revisit whether your passion is right or wrong. There is a YouTube video which I posted, how to identify passion. You can listen to my LinkedIn. How to manage the work as I am doing for more than 4 works, but sometimes miss tasks for some of them. Perfectly fine. Sharma. Perfectly fine because you don't need to be, that like I said, forgive yourself. You're not a machine. We are human. I'm very happy. You should pat on your back, say that out of the 4 work, I've done for more than 50%. You have done a great job, man. If some boss is not happy, just get lost with him and then go to somebody else. Yeah. The second area, what you need to look at it, sometimes, we are a little bit think we are James Bond after watching, Spider-Man and Superman. We think we are Superman. So we try to choose so many things. The best way to do it, start small. Very bite, simple thing to say, morning 6 o'clock, I'll get up and go for a walk. If I can do that, add on more, add on more. So I don't think you need to feel worry about it, but you can reflect where the planning is going wrong. Because there is no point in, there is one thing you should not compromise is called the promise you deliver and then not adhering to that. You go and tell that 4 people that I will get this job done today. And then you don't do 50%, that's bad. But you yourself, it is you are the boss and you are doing it, nobody else is doing it, then I'm okay. 50% also is fine. So that is where you are trying to chew more than what is available. Then you have to go back to the planning stage and see what I'm taking in that example which you're asking about. Okay, sir, earning less salary also feel demotivated. How can we cope up with such a mental situation? Not at all. Like I said, I was earning 2,000 rupees salary. Yeah, salary is not, again, if the family is dependent on you and you have to feed them and money is not there, mortgage, first of all, you have to manage your lifestyle. You bought whatever car and then you have to pay for this thing, installment, and hence money is not there. It's a cycle. You are slave for yourself. You earn and pay for installment and then run around. But if you want to build your life, you have to live within your means to start with. And then if you are able to live with the means, it's all possible. Because I also, eaten in food court and, the bullock or shops, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees and all, I've eaten food. Some echo is coming. So the point what I'm trying to say is, the money, you're going after money because it's a less salary, it's a vicious cycle, you will continue to fall. See, there is a story called, whatever you focus, that'll grow. If you go and say, oh God, I need more money, that means what you're telling, I don't know money. Tadastu. That's what will happen. So you have to come out of the 90-second rule. You have to come out of the point. The point what I'm trying to say is, why are you getting low salary today? Either the job you're chosen is wrong, or you're not qualified enough. You need to do some part-time course so that you get to reskill yourself. And then basis that if you are able to go for a job, then it's fine. You will get a better pay. So you have to always see, how do I improve upon myself rather than looking at the problem statement of poor salary. Because that you can't do anything, right? Because that's all the market paying you. So that means you need to reskill yourself. You need to see that, how do I negotiate with my boss if you're really good? Look at the other side of the market and get a better job. That's what Shalini can do that. Sir, as a college team, what method? Okay, that's done. Any other questions here? Sir, what more than short-term goals? So great session. How about we all learn a lot from you? What is the hurdles of limiting belief? Yeah. What are the hurdles of limiting belief? That's very, very important. See, that's what I'm trying to say in the life. It is not the books you are reading. if you can just make a note of it, called NLP. I mean, that's one small thing I'm telling you, or psychology broadly. NLP also psychology, because limiting beliefs is what dictating your life, which you're not even aware. For you to come out of it, you need to work on it hardly, right? Otherwise, you cannot. For example, when you put on weight, you can't say overnight I will become slim and things can get better. Cannot, right? So that is where the point what I'm talking about is, how do you work on, you, you know, coming, knowing, aware about the limiting belief. Say, for example, the friend who has written today, he written that, my salary is low. I feel very bad. Now, the salary is low as a point could be his limiting belief, because he thinks that I'm earning less. Hence, this is what I can afford. This is what the world is ready to pay, and that's becoming a vicious cycle for him. And then that's where he's keep going into that circle. And for him to come out of that point to believe that no, I can earn more. Let me understand what the issues are and how do I come out of that. That's how the things can come out. So for him so that could be one reason is either he's working for somebody who is not paying him market rate, so he has to look for alternate job, or he has to reskill and upskill himself so that he can come out of that point, right? The reason why he's not doing it, because in the limiting belief could be his mother or father would have told him, better, job security is important, don't leave the job, difficult, the world you don't get, that could be limiting belief. Or he himself believes that, market is paying only so much, so I'm only so much, I'm not good enough, people are paying. Any one of them will be there. So you have to sit and reflect on yourself to see why I'm doing what I'm doing. You will always get into the problem and struggle. The moment you're out of the problem, say for example, one of the examples which I do in the past is I get angry about life, So I go and, for example, if I get a lesser mark or whatever it is, I used to tell my students when I teach, you take at that time Walkman, record yourself and blame everything you say. Oh, father is, if you are born for Ambani, life would have been different. I'm born for somebody. That's my life. I'm in Trivandrum. I'm not in a Mumbai. Otherwise, would have become whatever you feel, say, and then walk out. Go for whatever you like, date with your girlfriend or go for a walk, run, etc. Come back and listen. You feel that how stupid you are by listening to yourself. So don't go for any counseling or advice or guidance or mentorship. The best mentor for yourself. That's why the word. You be a mentor and mentee, because you are the mentor for yourself and you are the mentee also. When you come back and listen to what you recorded, you will laugh. You will get answers for yourself. That's why you need to work on it. Right. Any other questions?
Yes, so there is my personal question for you.
Yeah.
So what should be the do while deciding the priority of the one priority of works while distributing the work to each and individual? What should be the priority? How should I decide the priority should be this one and this?
You remember this management, there is a 4x4 quadrant. Urgent
Yes,
and important, urgent and less important, the quadrant, right? So for
yeah,
example, if somebody in your family, somebody has got a COVID and you rush them to hospital,
yes,
that takes top priority because it's urgent and important,
yeah,
right? There is a 80-20 rule. That means for the effort you put in, you put 20% effort, and if you're getting 80% result, that should be the top priority. Yeah, for example, in your business sense, you have a client, somebody, if you click and win it, you will get a 1 crore deal. The other person will get 1,000 rupees or 10,000 or lakh rupees. How do you focus on the big ticket item where there's a winnability?
yes, sir.
Right? So first
Yeah,
and foremost thing is, for all this to do it, you need to have a calendar of what I'm going to do. Start with your life, because you're the machine, or you are the instrument which is delivering these results. So you have to be like, for example, if you drive a car, you optimize. If you're driving a Maserati or any car or a bike, you keep it in top condition. The same way, we have to keep ourselves in the top condition. We should be filled with energy. People walking in feel that, get up, salute, and respect you. And that can only happen when you are in that mental state. Yeah. And for you to be in that mental state, it is important for you that you need to be away from the negativity. So one other thing which I do is always will surrounded by satsang,
yes, sir.
right?
So most of the
Morning,
answer
get
with
up.
that. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
So the negative, most of the time I decided my targets for the whole day. I usually do it for me that I am doing this much of target for the whole day. But sometimes I completed nearby 20 to 30%, which demotivated me a lot. So how do I cope up with this thing?
Yeah. So just now I told you, right? You need to be I mean, I could see that you are very, very extremely harsh on yourself. Don't be. From the you just know what you said. If you recorded and replayed anyways live stream, you can go back and see. You said most of the time I do my work. Sometimes I do less and I feel frustrated.
Yes,
Come on,
sir.
give a break. You're not a machine. Forgive yourself, love yourself. And then the moment you love, what happens is there's no criticism. Then next day you will do better because you will analyze why I gone wrong. Why did I do only 30%? Why not done 100%? Right? Because the
Yes,
moment
sir.
you are in a blaming mode, you don't look at the problem statement. You're only
Yeah.
looking at saying that I am not good. I should have
Yeah,
been
sir.
better.
Sometimes you feel me that how I missed that target. I made it 100%, but
Ah,
now I'm achieving only 20 to 30% of that. So
correct.
somehow in the evening it's get demotivated a lot to me.
Correct. For everybody. So the point what I'm trying to say is that's what I'm saying. The 90-second rule. The moment you feel like that, get out of it. Or even whatever you feel, record it. Just see, you take your iPhone or phone, just put a recording button, say whatever you want to say. Just try today.
Yeah.
Walk out and come back and listen. You will get solutions. Because what happens is in our thing, it is like a radio, self radio. You tune in, oh, I'm not good at it, I'm not good at it, I've done bad at 30%, etc. Now that mood you get in, spiral goes inside, and then tomorrow also will come in mistake, and then 3 days you do, oh, I'm not good enough. And then of course some of the jokers will go and do commit suicide. Right?
Yeah.
So the point I'm
Yes,
trying
sir.
to say is come out of the situation and see as if I'm seeing you. That means you should see yourself.
Yes, sir.
Right? In NLP, there is a thing called perceptual position. That means if there is a problem between a person and another person, you have to sit in the other person's shoe and see yourself. There is a bee on the wall will see that how that person is behaving. Somebody like a mentor seeing how these two people are behaving. All that is done by you. You do many role play. That means, in
Yes.
other words, what they're saying is do a 360 view of that situation by yourself. Many times we don't see 360 view. We see only replay the is like a recorder player, scratch recorder player. Kick, 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 kick. The same sound is replaying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
Yeah.
what that was the main issue while I would do work, and sometimes I get got disturbed because of the previous day work. So it was good session, sir. Can we get any more questions from the students? If they are asking us, they can do a comment as well right now. Otherwise, we will.
Okay, there is a one question here.
On the
Now,
session.
as an entrepreneur, I have no money right now, but I am doing great. Means I have built relationship with no money, but what can I do to continue or exit? Now, as an entrepreneur, I have no money right now, but I am doing great. Means I have built relationship with no money. No, NGO, I don't know, RST NGO, I don't know how to pronounce your name. If you are a great entrepreneur and your idea is good, just immediately after this, in the link, you post your idea. There'll be 10 people will be ready to come and fund you. If you believe that your idea is good, right? So you are saying I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means the guy who can lose sleep on the idea or a passion with which he's trying to solve some other problem, unique problem. You can write to me. If it is interesting, I will come back to you. Otherwise, I won't reply. We can support. There are enough and more people are ready to support if you have a great ideas and you want to tackle. But don't wait for, just as a means to say, okay, you tell me where to turn left or right. That's robots, right? You will get money. If their ideas are good, this is the modern world. That's one benefit of this COVID. Though there are a lot of negative news, that digitalization and reaching out has accelerated. You don't need to know language. Even if you don't know how to speak English, there are Google Translator which can translate. You speak in Tamil or English or Hindi, that can translate language. Technology has transformed the world. You can sit anywhere and create any kind of production, and by subscribe to your channel, you're already here. Millions come and pour, right? So that's how the world is changing. Yeah. Good.
Yes,
So
sir.
the last concluding statement for me as an entrepreneur is, like I said, Three things very important. If you know whatever I talked about is very important. As a person, you need to improve. Only then you can become a leader, entrepreneur, employee. That's common for everybody. But entrepreneur, when you come in, it's very, very important. And just take note of these points. You ask some couple of questions to you. First, you have to say the problem you're working on to solve, or you already solved. You don't get sleep. You know, morning to evening, 24, it's not a 6 hours work, it is not a 5 hours work, it is not a 10 hours work. That idea is, you know, you are morning to evening, you just keep thinking about that problem. Is it so? And then every day you get different ideas of how to solve the problem. You go and approach many people and say that this is what I want to solve. Then the first thing is the idea is great. The moment you are, you know, 24/7 focused on it and then able to penetrate to people, then the leader, as an entrepreneur, you are right. That's the second part. Third is keep a milestone. Don't believe in a belief system and say that 5 years I will work on that idea, and if it is not taken, you know, the startup world, if you don't make a breakthrough in 2 years, you are a junk, right? So you have to idea to. That's what I said. Fail fast, quickly identify, and that is where the network will help you. In network forum, if you are having an idea, you know, if you are shared in public forums, and you know, and create a visibility and presented in many places, the doors are going to open for you if the idea is good. Or if nothing else, you bounce off with 10 more, 10 of your friends, and then find through the idea, think you will get better clarity. Yeah. So it should not be an issue at all. So this is the area. That means idea should be, you know, you should filter. You should have idea filtration to say, is it a unique problem I'm solving and how I'm going to solve, and how quick I can solve the problem. Two is, do I have a perseverance to follow and get it done? Third is, don't sit in your cubicle, but go out and reach out to wherever we can reach out, including social media. If these three rules, if you're able to strictly follow, I'm sure you will successfully become an entrepreneur and succeed. If not this idea, the next idea. That's an ingredient which is required. All the very best to you guys. I think pleasure speaking to all of you. Be in touch. In my, you know, you can see that Venkit@gmail is my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, so people can follow, and I keep sharing because that's my life on what I like and what I learned. I keep sharing. So guys, you can share my LinkedIn profile with the participants.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we will pin it in a comment box so that students can watch it clearly, and definitely they will follow to get the success in a life in a different way of path. And
Good.
sir, thank you, sir. It was a great session for me as well, personally on the way, and the team will also enjoy it a lot and get the learns the ideas from you. And sir, thank you for your personal this much of time to give us. I am very heartfully thankful for you to do this session for us, and our students will definitely get the benefits from this. Uh, yes, sir. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Be
sir.
in touch. Be in touch. Looking forward to, you know, meeting you guys all. You know, if things improve, and let's stay in touch. Yeah, and
yes,
believe
sir.
in yourself. Some of the learnings is recorded, so you can replay and listen. Whatever I
Yes,
share
sir.
is not a book knowledge. It's my own personal
Yes, sir.
experience. You know,
Yes, sir.
studied in a government school, studied in a vernacular language till +2, and then whatever I achieved today is just sheerly because, you know, what I put in for myself to improve upon, and hence it's possible. Somebody was talking about money is not there. I paid for my tuition. I was an LIC agent, UT agent, you know, during my time. I used to take tuitions and pay for my tuition. And with my
Yes, sir.
tuition money, I bought my Luna TS50 scooter. So I'm not talking theory here. It's a
Yes, sir.
practical experience of how I went through in my life. And hence, I hope it will be useful to you. All the very best. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
sir.
much,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.